It's okay.
Go ahead. Well, I'll come back to you. Oh, hold on. Yeah.
How do you fix stoplights?
How do you fix stoplights? That, we don't really have them. We have them in town, but we don't, that's MoDOT, that's the state. They go in, they're just like, basically a light bulb and some switches and electronic wires. But they work on those. We don't really, we just tend to stop signs, street lights, when we get regular light poles, turn those lights on. Go ahead.
How are roads paved?
All of our roads paved?
Uh-huh.
Pretty much. We have actually 2 roads that are not paved, it's actually in the city limits. And that's out there by your junior high where they had the big football games. Out there at Salem Road there, and then we got Eastview Drive. We own half of it, and it's half county and half city. That's the only 2 roads in town, technically. That,
I know.
Is that out by Assembly of God?
yes, yep.
2 things. One, I know that my road that I go on is Hilltop, and
Yeah.
it isn't paved. And do you have any connections with the community center?
Lights you see on the telephone poles, they're in town. The city pays for that. The city pays $50,000 a year for street lights in the town, the city does. Ameren UE just maintains them. Go ahead.
So when a tornado happened and like the big old pole, you know, hit the Group Brothers building, you know?
Yeah, the telephone pole.
Yeah. How hard or easy was that to fix?
That was very difficult because you had live electricity going through the lines, and we had to shut down and block the area while Ameren UE come through there and help lift it with big trucks. They got a grabber, grabbed the pole and lifted it up, and held on to it while we drilled a hole and put a new pole, and then we had to transfer the line from that pole to that pole. So it was very time consuming. Do what? Yeah, there was several houses out there. Go ahead, young man.
How much time does a 10-foot road take to?
What? 10-foot road? 10-foot wide or 10-foot long? Okay. And you want to know how long it take to build it?
Yes.
Well, depending on how you want, what you have there. If you got dirt, you need to pull the dirt up to get what we call solid material, which you get down to rock. Then you haul back in what we call base rock. We're building a base, and then we'll come back in and asphalt it. Once we go through, all that process is slow, so it's very time consuming, okay? It can take a matter of hours and days. Now, the paving wise, if you got all that done, it's a matter when you get the dump trucks rolling in and the paving coming in there, they back right up and the paver can lay a lot of asphalt in a matter of minutes. Yes, sir. But my goal is to make them happy at the end, the best I can. Go ahead. Now that I'll get to both of you. Go ahead.
Like, I know they don't happen here, but if earthquakes happen, how would you fix the road?
How would we fix the road? Well, we just have to repair it, dig it up and fix it depending on what the earthquake did to it. If it split it or made a big hole, we'd have to refill it and go. Go ahead, young man.
What kind of safety do you use?
Safety stuff we use steel-toe boots. We use hard hats when we need to. We use our vest, reflective vest. We use flashing lights at night. We got yellow lights, caution lights on our trucks that flash, stuff like that. Go ahead, young man.
Did you help fix woods after the tornado?
Actually, I didn't help do any repairs there, but I'm the inspector, so I had to go ahead and inspect it to make sure they put the electrical up to code, make sure the roof was solid,
Oh, okay.
make sure, all that kind of stuff. They had their proper fire lights, their exit lights to make sure that people, just in case the fire does go off, you can see the exit to get out.
Yeah, they actually did a really good job remodeling it.
Yes, they did. Go ahead.
How's the tornado affected your job?
It actually affected it in several different ways. We had a lot of damage throughout the town. The city had to incur the cost of paying people and cleaning up. And right now we're hoping for FEMA, which is federal money, to come back and reimburse us all the money that we spent to help the town. We lost a lot of trees. A lot of people lost a lot more than just trees. They lost their homes and everything else. But it cost, it took a lot of time to clean all that up. So instead of fixing roads, for a month, we was picking up nothing but brush. So, go ahead.
How do you decide where to put new buildings?
How do we decide?
Uh-huh.
Well, okay, in codes, there's sections of parts in town that I look at a map and what we got R1, R2, and R3, which that is what we call our zoning. Some are commercial, some are residential, some are multifamily. Like what I mean by that is commercial is like Hardee's, McDonald's, and stuff like that. There's designated areas, okay? There's designated areas for churches, schools, and there's designated areas for kids to live and their mom and dads. And then there's apartment buildings, you don't have multiple houses. There's designated areas for that too. Go ahead.
Do you brush hog anything?
Do I brush hog anything?
Yeah.
Yeah, we do. We brush hog the airport sometimes. Mrs. Limbach's husband there has cut a lot of hay out there. Go ahead.
Just to give you an idea of what's going on, we have 4 different teams,
Okay,
and they have 4 different ideas of what they're looking at. We
Okay.
have to look at a problem with a building in our community or a public space, and
Okay.
then see what we would do different or how we change things.
Okay.
So you're hearing questions on different things, and you kind of can hear a little bit about what the areas are. My group is looking at the community center.
okay.
So what we are looking at is, after the tornado hit,
Mhm.
we realized that, and we had Mike Grant come and talk to us Thursday. Some of the areas that we think that the community needs to look at is adding like a washer dryer in there,
Mhm.
adding a shower in there,
Correct.
and then adding on to the refrigeration
Mhm.
system. You know, because I was involved with the feeding of the food, and there
Yeah.
just was not a big enough refrigerator. So
Yes.
realistically, I guess my question is to you is, what is your job to do with the community center, or who makes those decisions for the community center, or?
Like Michael would come to me because I'm over the building maintenance.
Right.
Okay, and say, Steve, I need this much more square footage to handle this amount of people. So then I would go to the city fathers, which is what we call the city council, and I would ask, they built it to the standards back then, and the standards changed, and the town has changed, and it just couldn't handle it all. They never thought about cooking for that many days. They never thought about enough refrigeration. They need some walk-in coolers, or something of that sort, and they needed a place for a designated showers, which we did not have. We had to bring in mobile showers, if you noticed. And that's something that we just got to figure. But the problem is, it is capable of doing that. But the problem is, then we would lose our library. We thought about that. So we have to try to find a happy medium, because I don't think we need to lose our library. We'd like to keep our library. Can't notice I'm getting some brownie points there for us.
Well, because one of the things, we even talked about, even if you didn't do everything, but, we talked with him about, using a little bit of storage area in there. And, because he talked about the fact that he stores so much of his stuff in the storage area. If there's other places in town, like the Y building or somewhere else where he could put some things. But realistically, I guess our question too is I realized there were so many things that went wrong during that period of time just because as a tornado hit. Is there anybody even looking at that eventually to go, because I realized with everything going on with the city, there's so much.
Nobody's brought it to my attention yet what their plans are, but I hopefully they're keeping it in the back of their minds, written down to decide what we need to do in the future. But for Y building example, the Y building, everybody sees us coming in out of there, but the problem is with the Y building has no generator, no backup services, and I've brought that to several times to the council and other officials, because without the employees out there helping, getting out there and clearing the paths for the fire department, police department, and everybody else, and blocking streets, they are out there in the cold, in the dark, with flashlights trying to do their jobs, which everybody else in town has generators and stuff like that. But the problem is everybody's basing the fire department stuff, the actual work, the guys doing the work is out there in the cold. So they really need to update both their systems, the Y building and the community center. If they would update the Y building, then we could actually have climate control and we could store stuff out there. Right now we don't. It's a metal building, not even insulated, so that's something they need to really look at. Go ahead.
We don't necessarily have to take the whole library, we could take some of the library and have like half of it a library and the other half like to have like washers, dryers, and showers?
We can go several days without any power to our wells at all, but we do have generators, so.
Can I ask a question?
Yes.
Our group, one of our groups is talking about recycling water.
Okay.
Because